Welcome back, strangers. When we were traveling through Massachusetts on our road trip through New England this spring, we went through Dover. We hadn't planned on stopping in the area until Blake remembered the story of the Dover demon that made Dover, Massachusetts known around the world. He dropped me off on the side of the road and I filmed where this infamous legend began. On April 21st, 1977, Bill Bartlett and a couple of his friends were driving around town, hanging out and shooting the shit like you normally do in a small town in America. Around 10:30 that night, they were driving down Farm Street, a long road full of woods and open fields. Suddenly, Bill saw an unidentified animal making its way up a stone wall on the left side of the road. The boys drove closer towards the creature, and when their headlights shined on it, the creature instantly froze. Bill described the creature as having eyes that looked like marbles, stating it looked like a baby's body with long arms and legs. It had a big head, about the size of its body. It was sort of melon-shaped. He continued to describe the creature as having no distinct facial features. It had peach-toned skin with a texture that appeared almost like a shark's skin. Bill started to drive up as close as he could to the creature. He was able to see it was holding onto the stone wall with its long and skinny fingers. Somehow his friends were too busy bullshitting with each other to even notice what Bill was looking at. So he dropped his friends off that night and headed home so he could draw a picture of the strange creature that he witnessed. Later that same evening, 15-year-old John Baxter was headed home from his girlfriend's house. It was around 12:30 a.m. when he made his way to the intersection of Miller High Road and Farm Street when he noticed that someone was making their way towards him. He realized that this person's head was unusually large. He assumed it was probably M.G. Bouchard, a neighborhood boy who had a deformed head from a childhood disease. John called out to him, but the boy didn't respond. As he got closer, he realized it wasn't Bouchard. John said, "I was about 15 feet away from this thing when I stopped, and it stopped. We just stood there, and I was looking at it. I'm sure it was looking at me. I could barely see the shape of it. I called out one more time, 'Who is that?' John stepped forward, and the creature sprinted off into the woods. He could hear it making its way through the trees. Curious to find out what the creature was, John ran after it. He reached the bottom of an embankment and saw the outline of its body. He started to get this strange feeling. He felt uncomfortable. He later told investigators, "All these thoughts were going through my mind, you know. What is this? It's a monkey? Maybe. It's something." As I was looking really close, I could see its eyes. It was looking at me. I just stared at it for another few minutes. I got all these feelings that it was thinking to itself, or waiting to spring out, or whatever. I backed up the bank, my heart was beating really fast, and I left. He decided to head back to Farm Street and get a ride home. That night he drew a picture of what the creature looked like. It had glowing eyes, and it looked similar to what Bill Bartlett had witnessed earlier that evening. The following night, Will Tainter was driving Abby Brabham home when she saw something strange as they drove along Springdale Avenue. She described it as something that was down on all fours, but she also said that it would stop and sit upright. She noticed that it was hairless and had green eyes that appeared to be glowing. All of the witnesses made drawings of the creature they saw. Bill Bartlett went as far as writing, "I, Bill Bartlett, swear on a stack of Bibles that I saw this creature," on his sketch. A writer from the Boston Globe noticed that the locations of the sightings when plotted on a map lay in a straight line over 2 miles. And each sighting occurred in places that were near bodies of water. In an interview with the Associated Press, local police dismissed the reports, saying that they were probably nothing more than school vacation hoaxes. However, all 3 witnesses were deemed credible and none of them ever retracted their statements. However, Bill Bartlett did have a teacher come forward and tell investigators that if I was to pick someone to pull something like this, it would be Bartlett. Years after the incident, Bill Bartlett is still haunted by what happened. He later said, "In a lot of ways, it's kind of embarrassing for me. I definitely saw something. It was definitely weird and I definitely didn't make it up. Sometimes I wish I had." He still denies that the demon could have been possibly some kind of animal. This definitely wasn't a fox or animal. It was some kind of creature with long, thin fingers. The thing was more human-like than animal. I've always tried to guess what it was. I never have any idea. I wasn't trying to be funny. People who know me know I didn't make this up. All 3 witnesses had a similar story of their encounter with the Dover demon. In each story, the creature was not a known animal, but was humanoid, more alien-like than man. Lauren Coleman, a New England cryptozoologist, believes that all 3 accounts were factual. He interviewed the witnesses within a week of the sightings and said, "We have a credible case. that took place over 25 hours by individuals who saw something. Lauren states that the Dover demon doesn't match the description of other known cryptids like the Chupacabra or Bigfoot. What's stranger is things like this have happened in Dover in the past. The area is known to have experienced unexplained phenomena over the centuries since settlers first settled in the area. Since that night, there have been many theories that have attempted to explain what the Dover demon actually was. Some believe that it could have been an alien attempting to make its way back to its spaceship. However, the Dover demon also bears similarities to another legendary creature, the Manageshi, which originated from the Cree Nation of eastern Canada. There's also the possibility that the boys witnessed an undiscovered species, a mutilated animal, or some type of strange hybrid that is yet to be discovered by scientists. Martin Kottmeyer suggested that they may have seen a young moose, since the boy's description was similar to the animal's head. Each sighting was brief and happened in the dark, so it could have been easy for their minds to play tricks on them. Yet, nobody truly knows what the Dover demon was. Strangers, would you drive through Dover, Massachusetts in the middle of the night and attempt to catch a glimpse of the Dover demon? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, share it with a friend or a stranger on the internet. And as always, stay strange.